Why did Chris what's really kill his family? A picture of the perfect family? From the outside, Chris and Shanann what looked like they had it all. A big, beautiful house in Frederick, Colorado, with a neatly trimmed lawn and a shiny SUV in the driveway. Shanann, 34, was a force of nature, passionate, loud, and all about her family. She'd post videos on Facebook of Bella, 4, singing her heart out, or Celeste, 3, twirling in a princess dress, calling them her heartbeats. She gushed about Chris, 33, calling him the best thing that ever happened to me, in posts that made you smile. They were expecting a boy, Nico, and it seemed like their life was picture perfect. But those videos hid something dark. Chris, an oil worker at Anadarko Petroleum, was quiet, too quiet. Neighbors loved Shanann's energy, but some barely knew Chris, who'd nod politely and slip away. American Murder showed Shanann pouring her heart into their family, while Chris was drifting, barely there behind closed doors. Court records later revealed they were drowning in debt, their marriage crumbling, and Chris was sneaking around with a co-worker, Nichol Kessinger. It's so hard to imagine a family that looks so happy, falling apart in secret. Can you picture living a life that sparkles online but feels empty inside? That gap between their public image and private pain was where the trouble started. And it's where we begin to understand why Chris did the unthinkable. The financial pressure cooker. Money was a storm brewing in the Watts home, and it was more than just a rough patch. In 2015, court records show they filed for bankruptcy, buried under $70,000 in debt. Credit cards, student loans, medical bills from Shanann's health struggles. Their $400,000 Colorado house was a dream they couldn't afford, with mortgage payments eating them alive. Shanann's thrived business, selling health patches, brought in cash, but it came with pressure, late nights, endless social media posts, recruiting friends to join. Chris' oil job was steady, but not enough to fix the mess. They were living a lifestyle they couldn't sustain, chasing that suburban ideal. Chris wasn't good with money. Friends said he let Shanann handle the finances, but that made him feel small, like he wasn't in charge. Police reports later showed he opened secret credit cards, paying for dinners with Kessinger while Shanann stressed over bills. That wasn't just cheating. It was betraying their partnership. With Nico on the way, the pressure was crushing. Dr. Neil Websdale, in a 2010 study, says financial stress can push some men to feel trapped, like there's no way out. I can't stop thinking about Shanann, working so hard to keep them afloat, while Chris was sneaking around. Was money the spark that lit this fire, or just one piece of the bigger puzzle? What would you do under that kind of weight? The affair, a new fantasy world. Nichol Kessinger wasn't just a mistress. She was Chris' escape hatch. They met at work in June 2018, and it was like a switch flipped. To Nichol, Chris spun a web of lies. He was separated. The house was for sale. The divorce was almost done. Letters from Christopher says he saw her as a new life. He started hitting the gym, dropping weight, buying new clothes, even listening to Metallica instead of his usual soft rock. He wasn't just cheating. He was trying to become someone else. Can you imagine reinventing yourself while your family's at home oblivious? He took Nichol to their family house while Shanann and the kids were away, showing off a life he pretended was his. She told police she'd have run if she knew Shanann was pregnant. Chris' lies weren't just to keep her. They were to build a fantasy where his family didn't exist. Shanann's texts shown in American Murder begged him to talk. I don't know what I did wrong. He was already gone, dreaming of a life with Nichol. She even looked up Amber Frey's media profits from the Scott Peterson case. Police reports noted, maybe joking, maybe not. Was Chris so lost in this new world that he thought murder was the only way to make it real? The need for control, a pattern emerges. Control was at the heart of Chris Watts' darkness. For years, he lived in Shanann's world. She planned their days, ran the budget, and spoke for the family online. Shanann wasn't controlling, friends said. She was a leader, filling the space Chris left empty. But his passivity bred resentment. Dr. Websdale's research says family killers often crave control, killing to fix a life they can't handle. Chris started asserting control in secret, deleting texts, hiding his affair, even transferring money to secret accounts police found. It's like he was building a wall between his old life and his new one. On August 13th, 2018, that wall became a nightmare. He strangled Shanann in their bed, smothered Bella and Celeste, and hid their bodies at his work site, police reports show. It was so personal, so deliberate, like he needed to erase them to reclaim his life. Bella's voice asking, "What's wrong with mommy?" It's heartbreaking to think he ignored it. In his mind, was this his ultimate act of control, wiping out his family to start over? Or was he just too weak to face them? What do you think pushes someone to that edge? Sociopathic traits and emotional detachment. Chris Watts didn't look like a monster. He was a guy who'd read The Very Hungry Caterpillar to his girls, making silly voices. But psychologists like Dr. Shiloh Walker in a Crime Stories episode say he showed sociopathic traits. Calm under pressure, no real remorse. After the murders, he went on 9 News saying, "Please come home." His face blank, voice flat. He joked with cops, texted Shanann's phone knowing she was dead, and worked like it was any other day, police noted. That's not normal. It's chilling. His confession, after failing a polygraph on August 15th, was cold, like he was describing a movie. Court records show. Letters from Christopher reveals he wrote, "I felt free when they were gone." No tears, no breakdown, just attachment. Experts say sociopaths lack empathy, manipulating others for their own gain. Chris gaslit Shanann's friends, pretending to care while hiding the truth. Was he born this way? Or did something break inside him? Can you imagine someone you know acting so cold? Was it premeditated or a crime of passion? Did Chris snap or was this planned? He first lied, saying Shanann killed the girls and he killed her in a rage. A desperate attempt to shift blame, police said. He later admitted he killed them all. But clues point to a plan. He researched the oil site, backed his truck in the garage at 5 a.m., caught on a neighbor's camera, texted co-workers to be alone that day, and told Shanann's parents they could watch the kids a weekend before, court documents show. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment act. It was calculated. Yet, in letters from Christopher, he claimed he didn't know why he did it. Was he lying to himself? His calm demeanor, driving 45 minutes with his daughter's bodies, hiding them in oil tanks, suggests a man who checked out emotionally long before. Shanann's text showed her begging for love days earlier. Did he plan it to escape, or was it a twisted mix of rage and control? What's scarier to you, a sudden snap or a cold plan? Comparing Chris Watts to other family killers. Chris Watts' story echoes other family killers, but it's his ordinariness that chills us. Scott Peterson, who killed his pregnant wife Lacey in 2002, was like Chris, charming, having an affair, dreaming of a carefree life with Amber Fry, an Oxygen profiler said. He lied for months, playing the grieving husband. Neil Entwistle in 2006 shot his wife and baby in Massachusetts, driven by debt and shame from failed scams. Court records show. Ronald Gene Simmons in 1987 killed 14 family members in Arkansas. Consumed by rage and control over his daughter's rebellion, Arkansas Democrat Gazette reported. Chris stands out because he seems so normal. No criminal past, no loud fights, just a dad who tucked his kids in, friends said. His motive, an affair debt, feels smaller than Simmons' twisted control or Entwistle's financial ruin. Yet he killed his daughters, not just Shanann. Does that make him more monstrous? Or is his normal facade what makes it so terrifying? How do you see him compared to these others? The aftermath, public reaction, and legacy. The Watts case hit like a tidal wave. American Murder on Netflix, with Shanann's texts and Chris' lies, made it feel so real. On X, people still argue he's evil or he just broke. Documentaries, YouTube videos, and Lifetime's confessions of a killer kept the story alive. Though Shanann's family publicly criticized the exploitation in a 2019 interview, Chris reportedly receives 20 to 30 fan letters a week, some from women who believe they love him, according to a People article. It's disturbing, isn't it? So why does this case haunt so many of us? It's the betrayal. Bella and Celeste, so small and full of trust, had no reason to fear their own father. It's Chris' unnerving calm during TV interviews, his casual online flirting just days later, as noted by investigators. And it's that mirror effect. He looked like the average husband, the quiet neighbor you'd wave to from your driveway. That's what rattles us most. It makes people wonder, if someone so ordinary could hide something so monstrous, who else could? What the experts say, psychological breakdown. Experts have torn apart Chris' behavior. Dr. Phil, after interviewing Shanann's parents, called him one of the most evil, calculating, remorseless people he studied. Dr. Shiloh Walker, on Crime Stories, pointed to covert narcissism, craving admiration while hiding low self-esteem. Chris needed everyone to like him, friends said, but he hit a void. He compartmentalized the murders, working and joking hours later, police reports show. That's classic sociopathy, zero empathy. Dr. Websdale's 2010 study says family killers resolve cognitive dissonance, conflicting desires, like wanting a new life but being a dad, through murder. Chris' confession came only after a failed polygraph, and even then he tried to seem good. Court records note, no tears, just flat words. I can't help but wonder, was he always this way, or did his life, that affair pressure, break something inside him? What do you think makes someone this cold? Final reflection, why he really did it. So, why did Chris Watts kill his family? It wasn't just one thing, it was a storm. Debt crushed their dream, making him feel trapped. Nichol Kessinger offered a fantasy life. Free, exciting, new. He resented Shanann's strength, her control over their world. And deep down, something in him was broken, emotionally detached, unable to feel what he should. Letters from Christopher say he doesn't know why he did it, but his actions, strangling Shanann, smothering Bella and Celeste, were a chilling choice to erase his past for a future that never existed. Bella's voice, asking about her mom, Shanann's desperate text, Celeste's little laugh. They were real people, not just headlines. This story haunts us because Chris was so ordinary yet so dark. In cultures where family ties are everything, his betrayal feels like a gut punch. Was it selfishness, control, or a broken mind? We may never know. What do you think pushed him to this? Closing call to action. Let's pause for Shanann, Bella, Celeste, real people who deserved so much better. Chris Watts' story sticks because it's so human. A regular guy who did something unthinkable. Was it money, love, control, or just weakness? We may never know, but it makes us ask, what pushes someone to that edge? If you want to know more details about Scott Peterson, Ronald Gene Simmons, and Neil Entwistle, you can check out my channel or check on video description links. What do you think? Can someone like Chris ever make sense, or is he a shadow we can't shake? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, subscribe. We'll dive into another true crime tale soon. Stay curious, stay safe,